Jay here from Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm in my kitchen and outside, well, it's drab. It's raining. So if you've got your parkers, put it on. In fact, it's not the Paper Talk. It's Gazzetta because it's Sunday. So we've got the newspapers here to go through because we do things a little bit differently on a Sunday. We go out and actually buy newspapers, old school. We do check online too, but we also go through the papers. And as you would expect, most of the stories, or a lot of stories, I should say, focus on Manchester United, and a lot of them about Sir Jim Ratcliffe's takeover and his relationship with Erik ten Hag. You can see here, this is in the Sunday People. Cliff Edge, it says there. It says here, Ten Hag ready to warn Jim, stay out of my business. New Manchester United owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe will put himself on a collision course with manager Erik ten Hag if he tries to force the Dutchman to make his peace with Jadon Sancho. There have been reports that Ratcliffe will order Ten Hag to take steps to heal his rift with the England, if we can find it, the England International, obviously, once his 1.4 billion deal to buy a 25% stake in the club is sealed. So we've seen a few of these doing the rounds here, and it looks like there might be a little bit of fire to that smoke. The idea that Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants Erik ten Hag to sort it out with Jadon Sancho. You see on the back of the Express as well. Ten Hag facing Jim battle over Sancho. Again, similar story. That, yep, he wants it sorted. He wants them to make up. He wants some sort of resolution to it. I mean, it says here, you have to go into that little mini pull-out. No room to maneuver on Sancho. So, yeah, I think actually those have both come from the same source, the same reporter, Simon Mullock. So you can understand why he's doing the rounds, actually. I mean, this guy, he gets about good old Simon Mullock. So he's in the sport, the People Express. The Star have got it as well, and the Mirror, and it all seems to be coming from the same journalist. But it looks like there's something in that. There could be something in that anyway, because he's not alone in reporting that. We've heard a few reports of it over the last few months, or last few weeks especially, that Erik ten Hag wants Jadon Sancho. Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants Jadon Sancho and Erik ten Hag to kiss and make up, basically. Whether that is with a view to sort of getting a better deal for Jadon Sancho, just getting him in training for the first team, moving him on eventually. Whatever. I just don't see it happening. I don't see the manager backing down. The only way I see Jadon Sancho and Sir Jim Ratcliffe ending their feud is if Jadon Sancho apologises. He's got to apologise to the manager. I don't think the manager can put himself in a position now where his authority is undermined, especially if it's a new owner coming in and the new owner's saying, right, this, or part owner, whatever you want to call it, this is what I want you to do. And the manager's saying, right, okay, I'll do as I'm told. The squad is just going to think, you know what, we can get away with murder here, we can do what we want. And I think that's been part of the problem at Manchester United. We've had too much of that. If anyone cares about England as well, Gareth Southgate there says you've got to be fit, plain and simple. Gareth Southgate has warned that fitness will be key priority when he's deciding on his final 23-man England squad for next summer's Euro. There's been a lot of talk and a lot of noise about the fact that Marcus Rashford played the other night. He's still in the squad when he's only got one goal this season. People saying, why is he in the squad? Why aren't other players, or in the team even, why aren't other players starting over him? I think Southgate's quite loyal to certain players. We saw it with Harry Maguire. We've seen it this season with Marcus Rashford. If he likes you, if he thinks you're playing well, or you played well for your country, then the chances are you will stay in that squad. But I think Marcus has got to be careful if he wants to play for England in the Euros, because his form hasn't been great. He didn't cover himself in glory for England the other night. I don't know. Something's going on for me with Marcus Rashford. I just think he's lost a bit of confidence or something. Everyone says he's given up because he's signed this new contract, but I just don't see it. I don't see a player just going, oh, that's it now, I've got a new deal. I don't want to play well for my country. I don't want to try hardest for my club. It doesn't make much sense to me that. I think there's something there where he's just not himself, and I hope he can return to form because he was banging him in last season and we need him. But yeah, it's just every paper you look at, almost every paper, Ten Hag on the warpath, all different variations of the same story, mainly because it seems to be coming from the same journalist, but it's all over those back pages, and you have to wonder whether that means there is going to be something happening there. Are they going to have to get around the table? Is this going to undermine the authority of the manager? Is this going to cause an early rift with Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Erik ten Hag? Does Erik ten Hag even feel like he can argue with the new owner? because his position isn't great. I think he's relatively safe, but I mean, we're in terms of form, we're the most informed club in the country. But I do feel like there's a little bit of pressure on Erik Ten Hag this season to deliver, and if we have a bad season, if we don't qualify for the Champions League, or we don't win a trophy, then he might be in a bit of mither. So you have to wonder how sort of strong his position is to take a stance, to stick to his guns. We'll have to wait and see. Just on another story, this isn't United related, but United fans might have an interest in it. It says here, Everton woe. Everton face being forced into administration and given a further 9-point penalty if a second independent commission rules that clubs should be compensated for their spending breaches. So it looks like, it says here that Burnley, Leeds and Leicester are pressing ahead with plans to bring a compensation claim against Everton. Yeah, so the clubs that were relegated aren't happy because they felt Everton had an advantage by breaking FFP that helps them to stay up. It's weird, isn't it? Because I was thinking about this, like, obviously Everton getting his 10-point deduction, everyone's looking at it going, well, this could mean City could get a huge deduction, he could get relegated, he could even maybe get stripped of the titles, some people were suggesting. I don't know, though. I mean, the punishment that Everton have received is a current punishment. They've now had points taken off them. They haven't had any retrospective punishment. So they haven't been relegated because they've said, well, actually, if you hadn't broke these rules, you would have stayed up. And I don't know whether that might mean City could look at it and go, well, okay, if we get a punishment that's a current one, that won't mean stripping titles. I don't know. I don't really understand it all, to be honest with you. And you have to be a bit cynical about whether City is just going to get a slap on the wrist. But Evertonians are going through it in a minute. And it looks like as well, just on the Everton front, because it's worth mentioning, that's the takeover deal that they were banking on is now hanging in the balance. And yeah, because of the threat of this new deduction and the takeover and the club going into administration is, I mean, Everton are one of the biggest clubs in the land, one of the most historic. And it's sad to see, really, for the fans, because they've not done anything wrong, have they? It's the club that have broke the rules, but it's the fans that are going to end up getting punished if their club goes under. Just on some other news as well, there's a couple of other stories doing the rounds. David De Gea apparently has turned down $500,000 a week to join Ronaldo in Saudi Arabia, so he's obviously not chasing the money there. Onana issue isn't serious. We saw there was an injury to Onana. I think we posted a tweet about that. He went off in their game against Libya, Cameroon's game against Libya, that is, but apparently it's not too serious, according to national outlets. Go on, I can do this. Act 2 Cameroon, Rune spell R-O-U-N. Okay, well, they're saying it's not too serious. We hope not. We could do without any injuries. Also on that injury front, Southgate said that Rashford is okay. He got a bit of a knock, then he ran into Trent Alexander-Arnold, which sums up just how well everything's going for him at the minute. And just one final one as well, doing the rounds online. United linked with a €25 million Griezmann move. United have been linked with a move for Antoine Griezmann today. El Nacional claims that United have already made contact with Griezmann's agent ahead of a potential move next year. It is suggested United are prepared to triple his current salary as part of a move that could see them trigger his reported €25 million euro release clause. Listen, I like Griezmann, very, very good footballer, tripling his wages, and he's 32. It does feel like nothing has changed at Manchester United. It feels like the sort of thing you've seen over the last few seasons, and I thought we were going to be doing things differently. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, make sure you go and check out all the other videos on the channel. Make sure as well, if you go out, you got your umbrellas. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you're in Dublin on the 28th, come and join us. We've got a live show over there with Wes Brown. So it's going to be me, Steve, Macca, Joe, and Wes Brown. Anyway, I'm Jay Motty. This has been Gazzetta from a pretty wet Salford. Thanks for watching.